Alrighty, folks, let's talk about what is actually happening in the housing market of King County, aka Seattle. We're going to go over November numbers, transactions, price point, inventory, all of those things with the one and only Beth Traverso. How you doing, Beth?
Hello, I'm great. Mike, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very, very well.
Yeah.
I'm going to be curious to see what's going on in King County. This is usually a slow period.
I've been waiting to see what's happening with the November numbers. So King County, for those that don't know, the King County we're talking about is in the greater Seattle area. And we had talked about in a couple of videos ago how it was just a ghost town almost, and it just felt really, really quiet out there, and joked about the tumbleweeds blowing through the streets.
Exactly.
That's kind of how it felt, so it doesn't surprise me too much to see it come through in the numbers that we got from the Northwest Multiple Listing Service. What we see is that we're seeing the normal seasonal slowdown. It just seemed like it just kind of fell off a cliff a little faster than normal. And I think personally it might have been just a little more to do with the uncertainty around the election.
Yeah.
And I know when people feel uncertain, they tend to not want to make big decisions, and they choose to decide to do nothing or pull back, do nothing or pull back. And that came through in the numbers. So what we saw was I thought one of the most significant things that I saw in the November numbers was a dramatic drop off in new listings from October 24 to November 24. It was about almost a 50% drop in new listings.
Wow.
Yes.
So not only
I had to double check. I doubled and triple checked those numbers because I thought that can't possibly be, but it was. They went from 1,000. It was 1,027 new listings in November. And in October, it was 2,831 new listings. So it's actually even more than 50% drop.
Yeah, more than 50%.
You're better at the math than me, but it's a significant drop.
Yeah, that's darn near 60%. And again, that's really interesting because we were talking ahead of time just about normal consumers, and most people, when they're concerned, they don't make big moves. And that we often talk about buying, but that also includes selling.
Yeah. So I thought that was one of the most interesting things to come out of this. It's like, all right, it's not just the buyers feeling uncertain, it's sellers were feeling uncertain as well.
Absolutely.
And maybe that's why we're still seeing prices up year over year, almost 5% in overall King County. It varied a lot. Some of the areas are a little further out. Interestingly, the lower cost areas tended to restrict more in the price. And the more expensive east side, where I live and tend to work, was up almost 10% year over year, which is interesting because we all think of it as sort of a down year, like 2024 down year, but was it really? If prices are up 10% year over year, I'd say that's pretty robust. Now, it wasn't, it's very localized is the thing. And there's going to be places that they're down and they're up. Of course, it's all over the place.
What I think we're starting to see is the transactions are so low historically that we're getting really big distortions because everybody's focused on median home price. We'll use King County where you play.
Yeah.
Right. If you go into an environment where they used to sell 100 homes and now you're selling 40 homes,
right?
It doesn't take a lot of inventory mix in the 40 to yank median home price higher.
Really true. Very good point made there. It is true that the mix shifts a little bit, and I'm seeing it in the days on market too. I like to go with the median days on market because the average can just be yanked all over the place. If you only have a small handful of listings in a particular area, and one of them has been on the market for 200 days and the rest of them are selling in 5 days, the average is going to be
way out there. Yeah.
Distorted.
Yep.
And the median seems to be and we're seeing a little bit more. I mean, we went from about 5-6 days median days on market up to about 15-16 days.
Yeah.
So it is, it's going up a little bit. Again, I think that some of the seasonal slowdown that we see, and then also just that uncertainty factor that houses were sitting on the market just a little bit longer than they were. Even that 15 days in my market can give buyers an advantage because generally speaking, if there's going to be a bidding war, it's going to happen within that first week.
Yeah, instantly.
And it won't happen. I won't say never, but it's a lot less likely to happen after that. So once you get into that 10 days or more, I mean, I know it seems like barely any time for some markets, but for here, it's like, okay, game on.
Know your market. Disrespectful offer time. Disrespectful offer time.
Yeah. You don't have to wait 60 days like you do maybe in some markets. And of course, it's going to be case specific, but it's sort of like, that's just the general psychology is if you don't sell right away with the bidding war, then it's up for grabs.
Well, I've always told people, and this is a great conversation, everybody wants me to give them a rule of thumb for when can I make a disrespectful offer. And it's impossible for me to do. So this is what I now say is do your work, figure out what the median days on market is. Let's just call it 15 in your example. I believe you can start writing disrespectful offers at 2x the median. So in your case, that would be 30 days, right? If you're 30 days. Yeah. So again, if you're in a market where the median home days are 40, well, then you're not writing a disrespectful offer till 80. That's how you should use these, stats. So that's what I would do.
I think that's very good guidance. And again, I've said before, and some of you like do your homework ahead of time before you don't just spray and pray, like be a little more strategic about how you decide which ones make sense to put those offers in on. But the opportunities are still there. What I've seen in December, it'll be interesting to see what those numbers are, is our inventory has gone down to almost zero.
Wow.
And I'll be curious to see how that stacks up year over year. We see that happening every year in December. And that's kind of creates this tension that we've talked about in January, where the buyers are already like, okay, give me something to buy. Nobody's listing right now. They're all waiting till after the holidays. And come on, people, we got money to spend. We want to move. And then as soon as the inventory starts to come on, like here's a good one, here's another good one, people jump in. It varies in intensity from year to year with 2021 and 2022. 2021 really being the most bananas I've ever seen. That was when it went up. The average sale price was 112.6% or something like that. I don't expect I will probably never see that again in my lifetime. And I hope I don't. That's not healthy. But, but I think we will start to see the prices start to bump up a little bit. And that's what we normally see is the price gains for the year happen as a result of those early bidding wars that kind of reset the threshold a little higher. And then it kind of bumps along the whole rest of the year. Something interesting for buyers to keep in mind, in my market, January, on every chart, January always shows the lowest prices of median home price of the year. So people that are getting homes under contract now are getting them at the lowest prices of the year. So think about that. I think that's some hopeful news for buyers.
I keep telling people you got to buy at the end of the year, right? And again, if you're going into contract today, you are a July, you are a January closing.
Yeah.
And that's how you get the low price of the year for sure.
Yeah. I'm seeing, in November, we were down to 1.4 months of inventory in King County. And, it hasn't, I don't think it's broke 3, 2.5. I mean, maybe even, I don't know if we ever got past the low 2s all year, So it's gone down from there. And my east side area, it's 1 month. And and it's going down in December. So I'm guessing it might even go into the sub 1 month, which I've not seen in a couple years.
That's pretty wild. Think about King County going sub 1 month.
We're talking a major metropolitan area with millions of people.
Yeah, that's just wild. And I think that's all supply related, right? Just the housing market's broken. Nobody's selling. They're stuck.
Yes, we had a buyer client for one of my team members that put an offer on one of the good ones that popped up. One of the here's one good house came up for sale. It got 7 offers, in the middle of December, and it did sell. I don't know, maybe somebody at 150 and 200,000 over list price.
Oh my goodness!
Our clients bowed out. It was beyond their comfort zone. We never want anyone to do something they're not comfortable with just to get a house. So
they're still getting houses at $100K over list price.
Certain circumstances, if you're in an area where there's literally 0 for sale and you're good, you're well prepped. This one was remodeled, staged, well photographed, priced. I thought a little on the low side. That's the other thing too. It's like it was priced low. I think if I was going to price it, I probably would have priced it higher. But then the buyers competed and drove it up, and they wanted to close before the end of the year. It's going to close before the end of the year. So
there you go.
So it's interesting to see all the layers of it.
Yeah. If somebody wanted to buy or sell or get a referral out to another top 1% agent, where do they go, Beth?
Yeah. BethTraversoGroup.com. Or you can Google me. I can be found all over on social. I'm out there. If you happen to be in the school community, I like to jump on there and interact with people too. That's fun. So I'm out
Very
there.
cool.
Look forward to connecting with folks.
And you will be at our Vegas event.
Yes, indeed. That was such a great event last year. One of my favorites ever. So I'm looking forward to doing it again. Seeing everybody again.
There you go. Thank you so much, Beth.
Thank you. Take care.